And a very happy Tuesday to you at 12:07 in the West. It's the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wang's in Culver City.
John, today in San Francisco, Mayor Lurie is planning to sweep up and clean up the 6th Street homeless encampment in the Soma neighborhood. KTVU talked to some of the residents there, and while you might have an understanding from all the advocates that most of the people in these encampments are there because the plant closed down, turns out when you interview these people one-on-one, it's a different story.
Where will you go?
Probably anywhere in between Market and Mission.
Sherman said he's been living on the streets of San Francisco since 2017 after being released from Salinas Valley State Prison.
Huh.
So let me guess, he's holding out for management?
This guy got released from prison, probably early, probably thanks to Prop 57, and we have been paying for him to live on the streets and do drugs for 8 years in San Francisco.
And then we all have to pretend that he's living on the streets because of the high cost of housing.
So that's what's going on in San Francisco. Good on Lurie clearing out the Soma 6th Street encampment.
800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. Well, the top story here in California is that the incredibly weak field of candidates for governor keeps people guessing that other bold-faced names will jump into the race. The name that is most commonly thrown around is Rick Caruso, the developer out of Los Angeles, the man who built the Grove, the Republican turned independent, turned Democrat. But so far, he's not saying what office he's running for, if any at all. Also, rumors are swirling around Mar-a-Lago that Grant Cardone, who is a billionaire friend of Donald Trump's, who owns a home in Malibu, is considering jumping in the race. But so far, he's mum on whether or not he's officially in. And today, Politico has yet another name, another bold-faced name, considering jumping in the race. U.S. Senator Alex Padilla is reportedly weighing the pros and cons of whether or not he should become a candidate for governor of California.
This guy?
Hands off!
You know what's funny? When you go back to when that happened, and it was totally out of character. We had this conversation on this program. I said the man is an MIT-trained engineer. Acting like a Jerry Springer panelist is not something this guy has ever done in his long career as a politician in California. Totally out of character. And I said, this guy is upping his profile. And at the time, I thought he might want to run for president himself. But now it looks like he created all of that drama to generate attention so that he could run for governor of California.
That seems like a bad idea.
Oh, it's a horrible idea. Because let me tell you, if you're a Democrat and you're a U.S. Senator from California, that's the easiest job in the world. All you have to do is fly across the country, first class, every so often, and vote the party line. And then you get on your plane, you come back, you're a man about town, everyone gives you awards, you're invited to everything. You have 6-year terms, so you don't have to run every other year, and you have a job for life. Why in the world would you give that up?
He's only 52. He could theoretically do that job for another 40 years.
This was the same thing that Karen Bass went through. She had the easiest job in the world, too. She got passed over for vice president. She was bored with her day job, and she thought to herself, why shouldn't I be mayor of L.A.?
Well, if you're a member of Congress, nobody cares if you go to Ghana.
No, they don't. In fact, nobody even knows because they don't pay attention to what you're doing at all.
Before the talk of Karen Bass being on that short list, nobody knew who she was.
No, because she was a member of Congress representing a safe Democrat seat. She never really made waves. She wasn't common on cable news. She voted the party line, and that was it. And now everyone knows she's totally incompetent.
No!
And let me tell you, if Alex Padilla becomes governor, we're going to find out real fast that he's just as dumb as her. But politicians look for power vacuums. And right now, when he looks at this field of candidates, he sees a lot of midgets. And
I don't think you can say that.
Oh, come on. He looks at the field and he sees a lot of people who he doesn't regard as A-listers.
That's much better. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay. He doesn't see people who are on the same level as a Jerry Brown or an Arnold Schwarzenegger or, God help us, even a Gavin Newsom. And right now, Katie Porter is leading in all of the polls.
Like, please!
And the Democratic Party hates her guts. There's no way that Nancy Pelosi and company will allow her to win. They're just not going to do it. Because if you're governor of California, you control too many goodies, and they don't want to have to share with her because she doesn't play nice in the sandbox. They need someone else to become the governor of California. And it looks like the Democratic Party elites might be settling on Alex Padilla.
What about any of the Tonys?
They don't care about any of the Tonys.
Sorry, Tony.
Antonio Villaraigosa, by the way, this shows you how far he has fallen. Where he was at one point in time chairman of the DNC. He was a guy who thought of himself as a national figure. And now he's running for governor. He's in the single digits, and the Democratic Party has taken a pass.
Well, people forget who you are very quickly. The last time Antonio Villaraigosa was in elected office was 2013.
That is a million years ago. All right, so before the news of Alex Padilla broke, there was a report that came out talking about this very weak field of candidates. So, Randy, let's go ahead and get the update.
Here is a report from NBC7 in San Diego. And since it's San Diego, it'll be the first time any of these stories mentions Tony Atkins.
Over the next few months, the redistricting race is expected to dominate headlines ahead of the November election. However, campaigns for the governor's race a full year later in November 2026 are already gearing up.
NBC7's political reporter is Joey Saftrick. She sat down with some of the candidates already and offers some analysis as this election begins in earnest.
Look, the political nerds have been talking about who...
Hey, I resent that.
You think it hits a little close to home, huh?
Look, the political nerds have been talking about who's going to replace Governor Newsom for quite a while. But now that discussion is coming to a screen, both small and not quite as small, near you. And the question really is whether this is going to be a substantive policy debate or a competition to see.
When's the last time a California governor's race was a substantive policy debate?
Not in many moons.
In 2010, it was, do you want to like the old guy or the rich lady that was mean to her maid?
A competition to see who can become the resistor in chief as a foil to the Trump administration. 14 months before Californians pick a new governor, candidates are hitting the ground running as ads hit the airwaves, despite the fact that Californians have a special election on redistricting to get through first.
Who's buying ad time in August of 2025?
There are a lot of candidates. Many of them aren't known. So anything they can do to boost their poll numbers at this point is something they're willing to do.
No one in California is focused on the 2026 governor's race other than all of the campaigns that are vying for this office.
Among those campaigns, frontrunner Katie Porter.
There she is.
That's our girl.
Hey, hello, everybody. Among those campaigns, frontrunner Katie Porter. The former congresswoman from Orange County went toe-to-toe with the first Trump administration during the pandemic.
That's her credentials?
Someone who's willing to roll up her sleeves and fight with anyone around her.
Paul!
California's next governor is going to have to be ready to fight for California. Anybody who is hurting California, and Trump so far, that is what he's been about. I hope that changes.
Wait, Gavin's been hurting California. You going to fight him?
Every time she does an interview, it sounds like a professional wrestler from the 1980s cutting a promo, trying to get you to buy tickets to see them wrestle at the Forum.
Woo! I hope that changes, but if it doesn't, any governor's going to have to do that. But it is a mistake to elect someone as governor who is only interested in what's happening in Washington.
That's literally your platform.
Are we living in the Twilight Zone?
She does not talk about local issues. She's been a congresswoman for the last few years, and then she ran for Senate unsuccessfully. What exactly are the local issues that she cares about? We don't know, and we try to cover her every day. I'm doing a Google on the YouTube for Katie Porter.
I will say this. Self-awareness is not something she's known for.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. To elect someone as governor who is only interested in what's happening in Washington.
While Porter edged her way to the front of the pack when Kamala Harris declined to run, 6 other Democrats have their hats in the ring for the June primary.
Can you even name all 6?
I know 3 of them are named Tony.
And then you got this jackass.
Scrub it.
Eleni's out. You got Betty Yee.
You got Tony V.
That's one of the Tonys. Tony Thurmond, Tony Atkins. I don't even know who all 6 are.
Well, and then you got Katie Porter.
I think that's 5.
Okay, wait. The 3 Tonys, that's 3. Katie, that's 4. Baccaria, that's 5. And Betty Yee, that's 6. There
okay, we did it. We did the math, everyone.
Scrub it.
Right now, she's joined by many very accomplished and experienced politicians who have almost no name recognition across.
What does that tell you? When you've been in your profession that long and you think you're at the top of your game and no one is aware of who you are?
Across the state. So really it's going to...
Tells you that this state is too damn big.
Well, the state of Jefferson may try to break off again.
Across the state. So really it's going to be a competition to see whether anyone besides Katie Porter can break through into our political consciousness.
Javier Becerra served as the Secretary of Health and Human Services under the Biden administration.
Hold on a second. That's not his name, and that wasn't his job. Joey?
For Secretary of Health and Education Service, I nominated Javier Baccaria.
It's really hard to believe that we had to wait for the Jake Tapper book to come out to figure out his mind was mush.
That was like from the first week.
Yep.
And then we went to sleep.
Javier Becerra served as the Secretary of Health and Human Services under the Biden administration and sued the first Trump administration more than 120 times when he was California's Attorney General.
That's the qualification?
Oh, great. We need our very own Larry H. Parker.
We're going to make sure that the federal government respects the state of California, that respects our people.
Is he really even running? I have not seen him anywhere since that disastrous interview with Alex.
Well, this will tell you all about the political skills of the Biden people. But the Biden people, including Ron Klain, which was Joe's first chief of staff, are all getting behind Javier Baccaria.
We deserve to have those trillions of tax dollars that Californians send to the federal treasury. No one sends more tax money to the federal treasury than does California. We deserve to get it back.
And here in San Diego, familiar...
So what is he advocating for? Californians don't pay your taxes?
Well, Wesley Snipes took him up on that.
And here in San Diego, familiar face Tony Atkins.
No, I don't even think in San Diego Tony Atkins is a familiar face.
Now, if she walked down the aisle at SeaWorld, do you think anyone would recognize her?
And here in San Diego, familiar face Tony Atkins, the first woman to lead both chambers of the State House, hopes her experience can carry her back to Sacramento.
We are in a crisis right now. This administration in Washington is...
I didn't even know that was her voice.
Oh, yeah. She's from Appalachia.
This administration in Washington is turning cruelty into policy. They are gutting critical services that people need.
The candidates are auditioning.
So that's Also, another candidate that's not saying anything about California.
Nope, and she came from the legislature. She termed out of both houses.
The candidates are auditioning for a pretty specific role in deep blue California.
I think you're going to see all of the Democratic candidates really vying to be that successor to Gavin Newsom's so far very popular political strategy of making himself the resistor in chief and the opposition to Donald Trump.
A race that
means they're going to have to keep Izzy employed.
Oh, great. So now the race is who can be a bigger bitch than Gavin?
Yes.
A race that's gaining momentum, whether voters are ready or not. Joey Safchik, NBC7.
So there's the latest on the state of the 2026 governor's race.
So all of our problems should exist 4 years from now. Or I guess I should say 6. And Randy, if you missed yesterday's episode, you want to find out what you missed out on, that's easy to do.
All you got to do is search for The John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's the Apple Podcast app, iHeart, Spotify. Search for The John Phillips Show. Hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes. Do a Google on the YouTube. Get the free KABC app. Get the free KSFO app. You can listen to these podcasts wherever you are, whether you're working, whether you're exercising, or you're getting a sandwich at a Central Valley Subway.
What are you going to do, hit me over ham?
In the meantime, what do you say we make a couple of listeners very happy?
Well, let's do that right now. 790 KABC welcomes the Isley Brothers with the Commodores at the Pacific Amphitheater on September 11th. Tickets are on sale now at pacamp.com, but right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-795-2222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. This is a post-fair show, so tickets do not include admission to the fair. Tickets furnished by the Pacific Amphitheater. Good luck dialing.
Whenever a professional sports franchise wants a new home, or they want to upgrade the one that they currently have, typically it leads to a food fight between them and the city. I know my Angels got involved in a fight with the city of Anaheim that resulted in the mayor getting in hot water. Well, now another professional sports franchise in the state of California is going through the same thing.
They'll threaten to leave unless you want to spend a whole bunch of public money on a new, renovated stadium. Sound familiar, Shangy?
And we still got our Oakland A's, baby.
But this time it's not in Oakland, it's San Jose, as the Sharks are renegotiating to stay in the South Bay for another 25 years if the city of San Jose will pony up $300 million to renovate their arena.
Only $300 million?
Only. What a deal. For more, here's a report from NBC in the Bay Area.
Well, we've seen our share of local teams leave the Bay Area over stadium or arena issues.
Most of those are Oakland.
Yeah, I don't think any San Francisco teams left. In fact, they were the beneficiary of Oakland losing the Warriors.
In the last 10 years, the Warriors left Oakland, the Raiders left Oakland, and the A's left Oakland. And now they're all left with
Oakland Bees!
Have fun with that.
What about the Sharks? Tomorrow, a big vote is expected to keep the Sharks in San Jose. As part of the deal, though, the city of San Jose has to pay some big-time money to renovate the SAP Center. And that's not sitting well with some critics. Let's bring in NBC's Jocelyn Moran, joins us.
You know, when any city is facing a huge budget shortfall, and San Jose is as much as any of the other Bay Area cities, I don't know if the public's going to be behind giving out $400 million to a sports team.
And here's the deal about hockey. Is hockey more popular than it was in, let's say, the 70s or the 80s? Yeah, it's a lot more popular. But if you compare hockey to the NFL or Major League Baseball or the other sports, it doesn't stack up in terms of television ratings or merchandise sold, that sort of thing. So if you think that public sentiment is going to be behind an NHL team, if they're asking a city that doesn't have any money for $300 million, I think that's one ask that you're not going to be happy with the answer.
The old joke in Los Angeles was, John, you know how many LA Kings fans there are in LA?
17,505.
Exactly.
Let's bring in NBC's Jocelyn Moran, who joins us now. How much money are we talking about here, Jocelyn?
Well, Raj, the renovation for the SAP Center, a city-owned facility, is expected to cost around $425 million. The city of San Jose, as part of this deal.
As long as the ice stays frozen, what exactly do they need?
Well, it's all about the luxury boxes, because corporations buy these luxury boxes, and there is a ton of money in it for the team.
The city of San Jose, as part of this deal, would contribute around $300.
The last time KABC had the Dodgers, management pretty much moved into one of those boxes.
Pretty much.
The city of San Jose, as part of this deal, would contribute around $325 million. Critics say they want workers and the community to have a voice at the table.
The slot moving in.
A major deal is on the agenda at tomorrow's city council meeting.
He shoots. He scores.
The San Jose Sharks attract fans to their games downtown, and whether they continue to do.
I mean, it is like the only thing that San Jose has. They have a soccer team called the Quakes, but it's pretty much the Sharks.
Well, and it's the same thing with Sacramento and the Kings. And when the Kings wanted a new arena, one of the Indian tribes, I want to say Thunder Valley, where they have a big casino outside the city limits, offered to pay for an arena free and clear for the Kings to play in, but they'd be nowhere near the city. And the Kings shot it down, or at least the National Basketball Association shot it down, because they didn't want to be that far from the airport.
The San Jose Sharks attract fans to their games downtown, and whether they continue to do so depends on an agreement that would keep the team in San Jose for the next 25 years. But the city will have to pay about $325 million in renovations, while the Sharks contribute about $100 million.
What if you call their bluff? Where are they going to move to? Phoenix?
Well, the threat would be another Bay Area city, I would imagine. Look what happened with the San Francisco 49ers, where they moved to Santa Clara. They could do the opposite. They could move from San Jose to San Francisco, I would imagine.
How hard would it be to get some ice going in the Oakland Coliseum? No one's using it.
The city says financial options include increased transient occupancy taxes and or a general obligation bond. But as the city faces a budget shortfall, some have concerns.
The city budget has finite resources, and so it's really important that as we enter a season of belt tightening because of the economy, that we decide as a community what our priority investments are.
The South Bay Labor Council wrote a letter to City Council ahead of the vote. While it supports the Sharks staying in town, it wants to ensure the deal doesn't jeopardize existing public services and that it comes with worker protections and community benefits.
We're going to have to cut the police budget so we can keep a hockey team.
Well, and then the union say, okay, we'll sign on for it, but you just have to use union labor, and you have to pay them this amount of money, and you have to give them this amount of time off, and the benefits have to be this, and you just run up the costs.
And that it comes with worker protections.
Does Portland have a hockey team? They go to Oregon. See, it used to be the threat for all the teams in the Southwest was build us a stadium or we're going to move to Salt Lake City. And then Phoenix did that.
Well, and Las Vegas was always the stalking horse for a long time, and now they have one of each.
And that it comes with worker protections and community benefits. It also wants workers to be part of the conversation.
And we think there should be commitments and a partnership made to the folks that create success for the Sharks. So whether that's the workers at SAP Stadium or the neighbors in the...
What are we going to ask for, a $30 an hour minimum wage for the person that sells you a $20 Coke?
Why not go for the gold, and they expect a tip too.
So whether that's the workers at SAP Stadium or the neighbors in the community that are going to be impacted by future construction, we want to make sure that the city and the Sharks have a table where all voices are heard.
Other groups did write letters of support for the deal, including the San Jose Downtown Association. The city says the SAP Center is the oldest active arena of a team in the NHL that hasn't undergone a major renovation.
See, it's all peer pressure. All these other teams have a fancy new stadium. We want one too.
And the teams are willing to pack up and leave. And if they're willing to pack up and leave, that's the leverage they have.
How many times has the Angels threatened to go to Long Beach?
Oh, they've threatened to go to Long Beach. They threatened to go to the City of Industry. They threatened to go to Irvine. They threatened to go to Tustin.
The city says the SAP Center is the oldest active arena of a team in the NHL that hasn't undergone a major renovation. A little more than a week ago, the Sharks Sports and Entertainment president said, quote, on August 26th, the San Jose City Council will have the opportunity to cement the legacy of the Sharks in San Jose by voting to approve a new partnership between SSE and the city of San Jose to reinvest in SAP Center.
Okay, we did reach out to the mayor's office for an interview ahead of the vote tomorrow. We were told he was not available tonight.
He's busy clearing out that massive homeless encampment.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute.
The Sharks also could not talk tonight. They are expected to hold a news conference tomorrow with the mayor after the vote.
So there's the latest on the San Jose Sharks saying, if you want us to stay in the South Bay for 25 more years, the city's going to have to pony up $300 million to renovate that arena.
So the Sharks want the city of San Jose to be a surfer that's mistaken for a seal. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
Andres and Silmar writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. Guys, when talking about Oakland losing professional sports teams, don't forget that they used to have the NHL's California Golden Seals, who decided in 1976 that Cleveland is preferable to Oakland.
Little sports history there.
Oakland Bees!
800-222-5222 is the telephone number. Well, while the San Jose Sharks want the city of San Jose to pay for a new arena for them, the mayor, well, he has other things on his plate.
Matt Mahan has been working on clearing the largest encampment in San Jose at Columbus Park. And so far, in a week, they have picked up 100,000 pounds of trash.
That is so cartoonishly ridiculous. Well, it's fitting.
For more, here's a report from ABC7 in the Bay.
A long-standing homeless encampment in San Jose is being cleared piece by piece. In 1 week, city crews removed over 100,000 pounds of trash at Columbus Park.
And they're not done.
How many more days do they have to go?
Apparently, clearing out this park is going to take a month.
On Monday, homeless advocate Sean Cartwright and...
Oh, we're starting with a homeless advocate? Great.
On Monday, homeless...
How many people has she housed?
On Monday, homeless advocate Sean Cartwright and Grace, who called this encampment home, showed us the progress.
It's been 6.5 years since I actually slept in a bed.
According to the city...
Good for you.
6.5 years since she slept in a bed?
Yes.
Well, you know, the cost of housing really is prohibitively expensive here.
According to the city, out of 370 people at the encampment, 238, which is 64%, said yes to housing. Grace is one of the 47 people the city has moved into shelter from this camp. She has a room at the Bristol Hotel.
And a nice shower and a bathtub. Oh, my God. So it's luxury, 2 sinks. I feel very excited. I'm trying to help the rest of my family out here.
Cartwright said the abatement...
By family, she means her homeless family.
That's what I gathered.
Cartwright said the abatement process is happening hastily. Meals are offered at converted hotels, but the rooms are not equipped with mini fridges or microwaves.
What do you want, a mini bar?
Well, during COVID, we sent booze and drugs to the room.
In San Francisco. San Jose didn't do that.
No, they didn't.
One hotel doesn't even have a laundry room ready. And that's one of the first things that people want to do is like, okay, I'm here. I got to do my laundry.
Now they care about hygiene, huh?
Wait a minute. We took them out of the encampment. We put them in a motel. And the first thing they do is bitch about the accommodations?
Yes. 1-star reviews across the board.
Could you imagine working at that hotel and having a bunch of homeless Karens you have to deal with?
California, the land of where beggars can be choosers.
Part of the abatement process is offering those living in RVs a buyback program, $2,000 for an operable or inoperable RV.
And by the way, every city should have a program like this because it's so much easier to pay off somebody for their RV than to try to take it by force, go through the lien process, and then crush it into a cube. If you pay them off with $2,000 or $1,000, then you can crush it into a cube and it won't go back out into the ecosystem.
Anytime you have to go through a judge, expect delay after delay after delay after a delay.
Well, and you saw what happened in Los Angeles, and I'm sure it's the same thing that happened in the San Jose area, is that you finally tow one of these things because of all the violations. It goes to a police impound yard. The police impound yard is overcrowded, so they put the thing on auction, and then a landlord buys it for $50 and rents it out again to a homeless person.
So you don't actually pull it out of the ecosystem.
72 signed up for the program. 37 have been removed from the park.
We've had van lording, people actually buying inoperable, unsafe RVs, towing them out to Columbus Park to rent them out to people. This is not safe.
Cartwright said they're
How is it that that's a thing and Donald Sterling hasn't gotten in on the action?
Cartwright said their offer comes with punitive rules. The $2,000 via EBT can't be spent on alcohol or cigarettes.
Oh, no.
The next thing you know, they'll say they can't spend it on soda either.
There is so much complaining coming from this homeless advocate. They want to give me $2,000 for my derelict, disgusting RV, and I can't use it on cigarettes? Excuse me, I lost my compassion. Have you seen it? I've completely lost it. It's somewhere around here, but I can't find it.
I lost mine about a decade and a half ago.
I can't buy any booze with this money. How dare you?
On alcohol or cigarettes.
In the end, maybe a lot of people agree with that, but you're telling people, here's $2,000 to spend the way I think is best for you. They're grown adults.
Grown adults who have made excellent choices in their life, I might add.
Including complaining that they can't use $2,000 on cigarettes.
I'm telling you, everything is upside down here.
They're grown adults.
They are not.
They're grown adults.
We're trying to make it easy for people to say yes, but we're also going to enforce our local quality of life laws. We have to do both.
Out of the more than
He is constantly in the running for one of the best mayors in California.
How did he get elected? Seriously, someone with that much common sense, how is it that you could produce a majority anywhere in this state to sign on to that?
Well, you know, if you're in the South Bay, you're constantly being compared to San Francisco and Oakland. And I think voters saw what was going on there with London Breed and Shang Tao, and they said, we can't do this.
Laws. We have to do both.
Out of the more than 300 people that live at Columbus Park, 11 are children. Mahan said so far they have moved 5 families into shelter.
So that's the latest out of the 100,000 pounds of garbage so far cleared out of Columbus Park, and they're just getting started.
Now, here's the key part of this. Now that they've cleared out the park and they put the people in a motel and they're clearing out the trash, you have to prevent them from going right back to that park or going somewhere else and doing the exact same thing.
Well, this is where Mayhem is different than a lot of these clearings that you see in places like Los Angeles. As soon as they're all out, they are fencing that park off and they're redeveloping it to put in pickleball courts and make it a place that people will actually want to go to and have security. Homeless will never be allowed again in Columbus Park.
How about that? A city actually using public resources for the people who pay the bills instead of turning it over to criminals. Los Angeles, are you listening? Oakland, are you listening? The answer, of course, is no.